Hi guys, my name is Sean. I'm a houseplant enthusiast from Jakarta, Indonesia. I like to nerd out to the science behind how we can keep our houseplants happy and to multiply them in our homes. So if you're into that kind of content, please subscribe to my channel and send me likes. In today's video, I will show you how I propagate my philodendron birkin. This is actually 7 weeks from the time that I propagated them, and I did my video at that time, but so much has changed with my YouTube channel since then, and my format has completely changed. So I'm doing this introduction all over again in a new format. And with all my propagation videos, I'm always going to show you the update, whether it's like 7 or 8 weeks or a few months after the propagation, because I believe it's important for you guys to see which ones of my cuttings took and which ones of them didn't take. Today's video is the philodendron birkin, and this has actually been on my wish list for a very long time. I waited a long time to get this plant. And I got this plant in a pretty juvenile form where it didn't have the stripes. So I've had him for about 3 months in my care, and he just kept growing and growing. And then finally I've got this beautiful white stripes here. But what happened was that the plant got very leggy. I kept like wobbling over, and I could have given it a moss pole, but I figured, hey, I kind of wanted a bushy philodendron birkin. Like I didn't think that one was enough. So I decided to also embark on a propagation project, because it will be the first time that I cut up a philodendron that is, I don't know what growth pattern this is, but philodendrons have different growth patterns, right? And this is probably similar to your pink princess and your black cardinals and those philodendrons that grow kind of like upwards, and they would require a moss pole actually to get bigger. In the next few minutes, I'm going to show you how I cut them up. And here, actually, as you see, I have the results. So I'm going to walk you through the final, of course this is major spoiler, but I'm going to walk you through the details later on how they're doing. So the internodes are actually super close together, and this will be a bit of a challenge, but there are a lot of aerial roots happening already, which means that this will root very readily. I will go ahead and cut. Let me see, probably over here. It's not easy to cut when you're filming. It's that extra factor of somebody's watching and not messing it up. Okay, let me see. So I made the cut, but some of the aerial roots are in the soil. I am gonna go ahead and cut it off actually. It's got at least 7 centimeters of aerial roots. That's enough for me to root this plant. All right. So that's the parent plant. I definitely cannot cut any more of this guy, because I could go one more node down, but I don't see a lot of roots here. So I'm gonna let this recover. I'm not even gonna repot it. It should pull out new branches from below. And so this is our cutting. I will probably cut this into 2 plants. Again, the internodes are so close. I am super worried. You know what? I'm gonna use a knife for this because I can get a more precise cut. I'll be right back. Okay, so I am back with an X-Acto knife. I don't have a cameraman, so I can't show you the details of my cut, but I will do. Let me see. Again, I'm going a little bit greedy here. Alright, so that's one. This is actually very close cut. There you go. Okay. Let's see. And of course I'll get like 20 comments on how I'm doing this wrong. I will update you guys. You will find out how they're doing. This is gonna come right out. Okay, so this is I'm just going to leave it. The top portion is usually the one that is going to be more successful. So I'm going to leave this as it is. And out of the 3 cuttings, one of them is going into water. So actually, little bonus here. I may cut one more plant material out of this one. Going really greedy today. But I'm not going to be sad if I lose this plant. I mean, they were pretty rare a while back, but now it's a little bit, everybody kind of has one, and it's not that hard to find. Oh god, of course I dropped like 2 leaves, but whatever. So here is, ooh, I can actually get the roots off this guy. Okay, nice. Do not regret this at all. Here we go, and here's the parent plant that is looking super tiny now. I'm not worried about the parent plant actually. The thing about plants is that it has developed so much roots in here to support such a big plant, and when that plant material is gone, it's gonna have so much energy to and it's gonna push out so much new growth. In fact, it may have a few branches, hopefully. I don't know the growth pattern of birkins, philodendron birkins, but the other philodendrons definitely have that property. Okay, I'm going to mix my standard aeroid soil mix. I kind of eyeball everything. I don't really go with a recipe. I want all my philodendrons to be in a well-draining soil because I am an overwaterer. I kind of water it's much better for me to water my plants every 1 to 2 days rather than trying to test each one to see if the soil is dry or not. I have over 500 plants, so there's no way to keep track of everybody's watering needs. So they just get watered every 1 to 2 days. So this is worm casting. Bit of perlite. Vermiculite. Normally, if this is a more expensive aeroid or a rare aeroid, I would add a little bit of pine bark because I love that extra chunkiness. The roots will probably be a bit stronger if it has something to grip onto. So I'm pretty happy with this mix already. Like I can feel it with my hands. The airiness, you know, how they absorb water and how they let go of the water. This is not going to stand on its own. I may have to prop this up later with some bonsai wire. Let's see how well it stands on its own. I will have to keep this soil moist the whole time, never let it dry out, or else, I don't know, the plant might die. It doesn't have a lot of root system, so whatever root it already has, it will try to absorb as much water as it can while it try to grow more roots for the time being, and it will probably not push out any new leaf for the next 2 or 3 months because it's focusing all its energy on the roots. So this is one. So I do use a lot of cocoa chips. They're pretty good for philodendron propagations and anthuriums. The don't retain moisture that long, so you don't have a soggy soil that will rot the root. Whatever fine particles you have in the bottom of the pot, I normally just sprinkle on the top. As you water the plant, the fine particles will trickle down. And to this, I will add a little bit of slow release fertilizer and a sort of an insecticide that is systemic. And then I will give it a nice drink. I'll see you later. Alright, so here is everybody. I'm actually not sure if all of them will survive because the nodes were so close and I messed up some of the cuttings. But I'll be happy if at least 2 of them survive. This top cutting is so gorgeous. This has the most chance of survival actually, and of course the parent plant. And this is the one that's propagated in water. Beautiful leaves. Alright, so I will see you guys in a few weeks. Here's my results for the water propagated cuttings. This one's rooted really beautifully. This is really overdue to get into soil actually. I've been procrastinating. And the other one is even more fascinating. Not only has it rooted beautifully, it's given me little pups or little babies off the side. And it's given me a second leaf that's coming up soon. I really need to be careful when I pot up this one so as not to break this off. Yeah, so I'm gonna pot this up and I'm gonna give you guys a family portrait to show you what it looks like. So here's the 7 weeks update on the top cutting of the plant, and it's doing really well. It's growing faster than the other cuttings. But I want to take your eyes to this particular leaf. If you see there's a brown spot over here, it's a mutation. Look at that. How nice. And the stem is partially brown too. I wish that this can happen more throughout the plant. It will be so cool to see like a splotchy plant. Yeah. Here is an updated family photo, or video rather, after 7 weeks. As you can tell, like all of the cuttings actually took. So now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 5 plants out of 1. And let me show you something interesting. So this is the parent plant, and as you can see, the juvenile leaves are gonna be completely green. But if you give it time, it'll grow bigger leaves over time, and then they'll be striped. But what is interesting is the parent plant is giving me 1 branch inside. This is the second branch, and then there's a third one right here. So it's gonna be very bushy because it's got 3 branches coming out of that main stem. So I'm gonna have a very bushy philodendron birkin in about a year's time. So that's exciting. And here are the 2 that I potted up before. So they will take a bit of time too, and this is super cute. That's the baby leaf and that little growth point here. So that's gonna take off very soon. And again, this is what I showed you before, and it's got a really nice growth point coming up. So this is gonna be a fast grower and the most mature out of all the cuttings. And here's the awkward one that was cut and put straight into soil because it's got aerial roots already, and it's grown really fast. So all I need to do is give them time. So yeah, I would say that this is a very, very successful propagation, even though it's my first. So yeah. So I hope that I helped you gain some confidence and show you some insights into plant propagations, because a lot of the philodendrons actually propagate the same way, especially those that have the similar growth pattern as this one, such as your philodendron pink princess. I recommend for you guys to cut up your plants because this is one way for us to keep busy at these times. And we can also share our cuttings with friends and families, or bring them to a plant swap later on when things get better, when things open up again. Or if you're strapped for cash, this is one way for you to start selling your plants too. Because when I actually bought this birkin, they were quite expensive, but these days they've gone up like 2 to 3 times the price of what I bought them for. So yeah, I'm at Botanist on Instagram. Do DM me if you have any questions on plant care or propagations. I'll do my best to get back to you. And do like this video, comment down below, and subscribe to my channel, because this lets YouTube know to push my videos to other plant lovers who hasn't found me yet. So yeah, meanwhile, do take care, stay safe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!